Press conference format is we'll begin with an opening statement from the head coach, followed by questions for the student athletes only. I'll take those questions, go ahead and dismiss the student athletes back to the locker room and continue with coach. So we'll go ahead and begin with the opening statement. Coach?
Yeah, this is really unknown, uncharted territory for our group, other than Janae Volker. And when Janae fell out about 6 minutes ago, it was probably a bad coaching decision to leave her in that long. At the same time, I leaned over to Coach Eli and said, "Hey, JC and Kevy have got to finish this thing for us." I think we had a 4-point lead, but and then that very next 2 plays, they both scored. And so I felt good with, obviously, with the win. We don't want to look at the stat page. It wasn't really a pretty stat page for us. But UMKC's quickness, it really affected us. We just had a hard time with their defensive pressure and one-on-one pressure, and so we're glad to get this win. We played UMKC last weekend, just like we played Southern Utah last weekend. So a lot of miles, a lot of action in the last 7 days, and I'm proud of our girls that we're on the championship game.
Let's take questions for the student athletes. If you raise your hand, I'll go ahead and identify you. Let's go ahead in the front row.
Kevin, you've been through a lot, but this is you two obviously had to take the game on your shoulders in the second half, and it maybe stepped up a little more than the first round.
Yeah, I'd say that me personally, I did play different in the first and second round. Second round, I actually played ball like I can play. First round, obviously, as y'all saw, it wasn't exactly my greatest game, but I mean, that's just basketball. Sometimes you play good, sometimes you don't. I mean, even Michael Jordan had a bad game every now and then, but I mean, so, yeah.
Did you all feel comfortable, did you feel comfortable basically having to maybe run the team there at the end?
Well, throughout the year, everyone's stepped up big in different ways, and Janae's usually our leader on the floor, very vocal, and keeps us calm. But when she went out, we knew we had to step up, and I feel like we felt comfortable, and we just did what we had to do to get the championship. So.
Kevin, you got 2 fouls pretty quickly. You stayed in, and you still drove the ball to the basket. No concern or a little fear about picking up maybe a third?
I definitely had a little bit of concern about it, just because a lot of teams always try to get charged on me because I do drive to the goal hard. But I mean, you still play ball, and Coach Fink knew what he was doing with me, and I was going to be smart about it and maybe not play maybe not go for steals that were kind of iffy and stuff, and then I started pulling up a lot more. So I mean, there's a little bit of hesitation after I had 2 fouls, but then in the second half there was none because I still had 3 fouls to go. So.
Kevy, good chance that you guys could face South Dakota State in the next round. They kind of have the home atmosphere. Can you talk about the potential challenge of that?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a big advantage to South Dakota State we played in. But, I mean, when we played them at their place, it was the same way. There was tons of fans there. Everybody was against us except for, I think, Janae's 2 parents were the only ones there. And so, I mean, but this team, we love playing in atmospheres like that. Even if they're against us, we just love crowds. They get us pumped. And so, I mean, we're ready to step up to the challenge.
JC, you guys have had 2 relatively close games in 3 days, and the starters have all played about 30 minutes a game. Any concern you guys play such an intense, active, energetic style? Concerns about trying to do that again a 3rd time against, again, potentially a deep team that's going to have some crowd support?
Well, we haven't played this many games in a row, all season, but I feel like our practices, we imitate, game speed, game situations a lot, and I feel confident that, we'll be able to go with our regular game plan, which is fine. So.
JC only played 36 minutes tonight, so it's not our average, so we rested her a little bit tonight.
JC, was there really a point in time in the game where you guys felt comfortable that you had it wrapped up? Obviously, the Kangaroos stuck around and you had to leave a couple times. Was there a point that felt that you had it locked up?
Not till about 30 seconds left. Honestly, they're a good team, and they had a lot of passion tonight, and tournament time, anything can happen. They were just fighters, so I really didn't feel comfortable until about the last 30 seconds. So.
It seems like that you all have broken open games when your press has just completely unraveled the team and you've been able to get a little separation. Was it frustrating that you weren't able to do that?
It was a little frustrating just because, like you said, our press usually does kind of mess with the other team's head a little bit. But, I mean, they were fast guards, and, I mean, we're not slow, but, you know, they're definitely a little bit faster than us. So, but, I mean, it was no big deal because I have confidence on our half-court defense, and so, obviously, it worked out for us.
JC, was there any added I mean, this is pretty much the first close game you all played in a while, and was there any heightened nervousness over there in the second half when you went into the huddles or things?
You know, I think we maybe got a little tight in the first half because, you know, we're used to our press working and, you know, breaking it open a little bit and having a little cushion going into halftime. But, you know, we had a good talk at halftime, and, you know, we just knew if we stuck to our game plan and did what we had to do that it'd work out for us. So, none in the second half, I